I'm Bill Holling.
Okay. And can you tell us your birthday and your current age?
May 13th, 1929. I'm 73.
Okay. And what did you do for a living?
I worked for my dad in the lumber yard up until 1974, and then I worked there for Mark Bryan until 81. And after that, I ran the wastewater treatment plant for the city of Elkhorn.
Alright. How did you come to live in Elkhorn?
I was born there.
So your family goes with that?
Yes.
Okay.
That's right.
What part of Elkhorn did you grow up or live in?
It was very close to the railroad tracks. There was the old Grove Hotel, which was run by my grandmother, and we were across the street in a warehouse, there's an apartment behind it that Scoop and Carl owns now.
Cool. Okay. Can you describe to me what Elkhorn looks like? Oh yeah, that one. A long time ago compared to now. Yeah, I know that.
Well, actually the north end of town was at about the south parking lot of the old Lutheran church on Highway 31. And hell, I don't know how much more to tell you about it, but
Okay.
that's as far as it went. And there were houses over to the south side of town also.
Okay. Let me just ask you some questions. What was it like having trains come through Elkhorn and having people coming through the trains, things like that?
Well, actually, I guess the trains were kind of noisy, but living right practically on top of the tracks there, it got so you never even paid any attention to them.
Yeah.
And people did catch the train from Elkhorn into Omaha for like to go shopping and things like that. Although the bus line was probably used a lot more.
Yeah.
Because by the time I was growing up, boy, they had discontinued the passenger service pretty well.
Yeah.
And it was just mail coming in.
Okay, so do people use the Old Lincoln Highway a lot?
Yes, that was the main highway in Omaha.
Okay. Can you tell me anything about like the Trainer Saloon or?
Well, I grew up in that building, in the back side of it, and of course, during the 20s they had prohibition, so that shut down the saloon, and my dad used it for a lumber storage warehouse after that. Oh, there is something else about the saloon. When the saloon was operating, the men came in the saloon, but there weren't any ladies. They didn't go into the saloon, but there, in what was later the apartment in the backside, there were rooms there, and there was a door for the bartender to go back into the ladies' room to serve them. So it was segregated.
Can you tell me about your school days and growing up in the school? What schools you went to?
Well, I went through 12 years of school in what is now the administrative offices building.
So all your years of school?
All 12, yes.
Can you tell me about any local businesses that you remember or that you, any local businesses that were like famous or just that were really known in the city?
No, I don't know of any that were particularly famous. I remember that there was Hell's Meat Market just half a block up the street from us, and sometimes we'd go in there and Bill Hell would give us kids a wiener. Then later he bought out the grocery business across the street from, it was, oh goodness, I forget the name. Anyway, the grocery store across the street, he bought out the grocery business, and the former owner kept the dry goods part. And then later, why, he closed that down too. That was Otto Gregerson had the grocery store across the street.
All right. Do you have any story, or first of all, do you want to tell us what these pictures are about? Do you want to start with this and show the camera and explain to everybody about your family business and what it is?
Okay, well, this is the lumberyard as it was, well, from looks of the cars, it must have been back about in the 1930s when the picture was taken. And the office was over here. And this shed back here was one that my grandfather had when he had the lumberyard over by where the viaduct is now, and he moved this shed up here after he bought this location. And later, about 1956, office was built right in this area where Husker Door now has its offices.
Okay, so can you explain to people about what types of lumbering your family did, or anything?
Well, we just sold lumber retail, mostly to contractors and some do-it-yourselfers. And the lumber in the earlier years came in almost entirely by rail. Over here was the railroad tracks, and they'd come in usually in box cars. And we'd unload the box cars by hand onto a truck and haul them up to here in the yard and then put it away here in the lumber bins. Then later, they started shipping a lot more by truck, so the trucks would come in and we'd unload the trucks right in the yard.
Okay, thank you. And can you explain to people, you can take those pictures out and tell people what they are and who you know in the pictures.
Okay, this is my uncle, Walter S. He went by the name Pat S. And this is Grace Pfeiffer, and she was my teacher in the first and second grade.
She was? Oh yeah, I think the Ohms. That was her teacher in the first and second grade also.
She taught for many years. And the grade school, it was first and second in one room, and third and fourth, fifth and sixth and seventh and eighth. There were two rooms, or two classes per room.
So you had the same teacher for 2 years?
We did in first and second grade. In the later years, why usually there was some turnover. Like our third grade teacher, she married the basketball coach and retired. So fourth grade we got a new teacher. Then of course the fifth grade we got a new teacher again, and so we had difference about every time. This is my dad, Bill Holling, in the class of 22. Lily Cook married Louis Rolfs. They had a trucking company in town. And Lily Kerner, she moved to the western part of the state, I think. I'm not positive about that. I think she taught school in the western part of the state. Lived out there, but I'm not positive.
There were only 3 people in their class?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy.
At that time, usually the class would start out bigger, but a lot of kids maybe would just quit after the 8th grade or maybe 10th grade and go into farming and wouldn't finish their high school education. So there were a lot of dropouts that way.
Okay, now I want to ask you, are there any stories about, any funny stories or anything, just any stories you want to tell? Just tell us anything.
Oh, can't think of anything right off the top of my head. You should ask me that sooner. I might have thought of something. Right now, I don't.
Okay, like anything that you did when you were a kid, or types of things that you like do in the summer and things?
Well, we didn't have organized little leagues or anything like that. I mean, we wanted to play ball. We just get a bunch of kids together and have our own game. And sometimes we play kick the can after dark in the evenings. Like My brother and I had one bicycle between us. I think I was probably 9 or 10 years old when we bought that. My dad bought it used, and we had to share it. That was the only bicycle I ever had. Whereas today, kids seem like every year they get a new one. But that was about normal for them.
Okay, what do you think about the growth of Elkhorn and how it's gotten so much bigger, and there's 4 elementary schools and there's going to be 2 middle schools and things like that, and how the population's growing? How do you feel about that?
Well, I guess it's just something that has to happen, being this close to Omaha. I'd like to stay independent, not get annexed, because we have, like our services, our street cleaning and things like that, I think we do a lot better job than will happen after we get annexed. But aside from that, it was nice being in a little town. I knew every house in town who lived there, and now just a few right in my own neighborhood I know.
Yeah. That's how I feel too, because when I first moved out here I was really little, and it seems like everybody knows everybody, because I had an older brother and he played football, so we knew a lot of people in the town, and it kind of feels cool to like know a lot of people. But a lot of people, like the Ridges neighborhoods and stuff like that, they're coming in. And I don't know, to me, I don't want to be just like a school district. I want to be like our own little town. But I guess you can't stop that.
Like the Ridges in Chapel Hill, we knew about all the farmers that farmed the land back in the 30s and 40s. But then they gradually, as Omaha came out, they sold their farms. And some moved away to different areas where land was less expensive.
So is there anything else you'd like to share with us?
Oh, not right off the top of my head.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time.